friends, welcome to the channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. Thank you so much for coming back if you've been here before. Today we are doing a pick a card reading, and this one was voted on by all of you, so thank you for voting. Stay tuned for future polls, and we are going to be doing the 2025 love and relationships. So this is going to be a little bit of a different reading. I will be doing a reading breakdown, so stay tuned for that. But let's go through the options. We have three options as usual. Option number one is Ginny and Harry from the Harry Potter franchise. Option number two is Edward and Bella from the Twilight franchise. Option number three is Lupin and Tonks, or I guess Tonks and Lupin, from the Harry Potter franchise as well. So pause the video if you need to ask yourself which pile, or maybe piles, have a message for you. And let's talk about what you can expect in this reading. So for this reading, we are going to be looking at your current energy. We are going to be looking at the person that is either coming your way or already in your life for 2025. We will then look at an important lesson that you are taking into 2025. We are going to look at what's possible for you in 2025 when it comes to love and relationships. We are going to look at the relationship dynamics with this person, what brings you together, anything that can pull you apart, and that's meant to kind of give you a little bit more of an outlook on what's possible and, anything that you can look out for. We are going to look at the feelings that you have for each other and the love language each of you have. So we are also going to look at some additional oracle cards just for confirmation. For this reading, it's going to be slightly different where I have some cards pre-shuffled, but there is going to be a lot of live shuffling on camera, and each pile has its own deck. So for pile number one, the deck that I'll be using is the Fairytale Tarot deck, and this one has a lot of the fairy tale characters, if you will. For pile number two, I am going to be using the Modern Love Tarot, and this is what that deck looks like. If you've seen readings by me, you've seen this deck before. And for pile number three, we are going to be using the Light Seer's Tarot deck. And I'm sure you've seen this one if you follow me because I use it a lot, but this is going to be the deck we're going to be using for that pile. So pick your pile and let's jump into the reading. Hello, pile number one. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be your reading if you were drawn to the Ginny and Harry sticker. And I'm going to place that right over here. Hopefully that works. So, as a reminder, it's a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. You know yourself best. If it does not fit, do not force it to fit. Also, I did do a reading breakdown, and I highly, highly suggest you check that out because there's a lot of information on what to expect and how this reading is going to go. So we are going to start by looking at your current energy. And then we're going to look at the person's energy who is going to be in your life in 2025. Pile number one, if this does not sound like you, it could be that you're here. But if neither of these are you, this is not your pile. Try choosing a different pile. Also, this person's energy is meant to be the person that is going to be most prominent in your life in 2025. So if you do not like it, if you do not resonate with it, you can absolutely just pick another pile or just choose to not watch the rest of the video. But let's get started. Let's look at your current energy. We have the peacock. We have the rabbit. Okay. Pile number one, I like this energy so far. Oh. We have the goddess. And we have growth. And we're going to look at this person's energy, and this is the person who's going to be in your life most prominently in 2025. Oh, you got the unicorn. Okay. The elk. Then we have changes. And we have, ooh, toxic. This is a beautiful card. I don't think I've ever picked this card in this deck. All right, so let's talk about it. Let's start with my viewer. And again, it could be switched over, but if you're not here and you're not here, it's not the reading for you. That is absolutely okay. So let's start by talking about my viewer, or at least who I intend my viewer to be. So this rabbit, actually, let's call you the peacock. The peacock person, and we have the earth signs represented here. We have Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and this is for the rabbit. And then for the peacock, we have the air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I am a Libra rising, and I don't know why I just drew a complete blank there. So we also have Earth again. I would say a lot of Earth in this pile with the Goddess and the Growth card. So keep that in mind. That's just extra confirmation if that is something that you enjoy in this reading, in these readings, but it doesn't necessarily, you don't have to be one of those zodiac signs for this to be your reading. But let's talk about my peacock person. So the peacock person, there's a lot of, I want to say there's a lot of growth, right, that you've undergone, especially moving into 2025, especially in your love life. That is coming through very strongly and clearly here. And I think that one thing that's been happening for this peacock person is that you are recognizing your beauty. You are recognizing what it is that you bring into the world, and it's like you've been working on your confidence. And if that's the case, if you have been working on your confidence moving into 2025, you are so aware of what you bring to the table and what you want and what you deserve. And I think that, and I have to say, for some of you, I don't think this unicorn person is somebody necessarily new, but we'll get there. But I think that for my peacock person, what has been happening is that you are stepping into your divine energy. You are stepping into your beauty. You are stepping into recognizing what you bring to the world. And I will say, I think for my peacock, you are setting some boundaries in place, not only with other people, but with yourself. It's like you've always had the standards of what you know you deserve and what you are going to entertain. But at times you have overlooked certain things that you knew were not in alignment with your higher self, that were not in alignment with what was best for you. And you did that from a place of love, from a place of understanding, from a place of wanting to hold space for the people that you care about, and also from a place of understanding, because I do think that you are someone who's very compassionate, someone who has a lot of empathy, someone who is very sensitive. And you tend to see the best in people. You tend to focus on what is possible, what the best is, and what other people, what the best version of someone else is, because you can see that, because you are very kind. But again, there is a glow up for this group, and it's not even physically, because I think that for my pile number ones, there's something very striking about you physically. I would not be surprised if you are an earth sun with a Libra or like air sign rising. I will say I do get a lot of Libra rising for this group. It could be Gemini, Aquarius as well, but there's a level of like and this could be a Taurus Libra combination as well, because there's a lot of Venusian energy here. There's a lot of Venus energy to this group, and to who you are right now. And it could just be, again, that you're going through a major glow up, and it has to do with the way that you are presenting at this point, where you are aware of who you are, what you bring to the table, and you are coming across as very confident. Some of you are more comfortable in your appearance, and some of you are choosing to present in a way that feels more comfortable to you. This could be like, dyeing your hair a specific color. This could be wearing a style of clothing that really makes you feel good about yourself. And you have been going through this period of growth. And this period of growth is what is leading you to where you are meant to be. And that is going to bring in the right opportunities for you. Because what we have here is the peacock with the rabbit. And there is a level of polarity to these energies, because the peacock is all about, look at me, confidence, I am showing up, I deserve to be seen, I deserve to be heard. Whereas the rabbit can be a very fearful creature. It is a very beautiful creature in the sense of, there's a lot that the rabbit offers. There's a lot that the rabbit is very resourceful. The rabbit is very creative. The rabbit is very fertile. But the rabbit is also very much afraid, because the rabbit is a very small creature, especially when we think about wild bunnies. They're very small. They can have a lot of predators out there kind of out for them. So there is this side of you, pile number one, at least aside to the peacock person, that can be very nervous, that can deal with a lot of fears. And I think that what you have been working on has been to kind of work through your fears. For some of my pile number ones, it could be that you have anxiety. It could be that you talk really fast. Only take that if it resonates. But you did go through a period of time where you were really trying to build up your sense of self, your sense of confidence. And again, there's always room for improvement. There's always something to be done. But pile number one, my peacock person, you have come so far and you are embracing your beautiful energy. And for some of my pile number ones, for some of my peacocks, you are doing work with a specific goddess. If so, continue to do that. It's working and it's what you are meant to be doing. Only take that portion if it resonates. And now I want to talk about the unicorn. Because we have the unicorn here. And actually, let's talk really quickly about not only the unicorn, but the signs here. So when it comes to the unicorn, it doesn't represent a specific sign, if you will. So it's kind of like all signs can be represented here, because the unicorn is one of the mythical creatures. But we do have the elk, and that is earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But again, any of the signs can be represented here. I am seeing a lot of earth on this side as well. I'm also seeing air, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But the unicorn person. The unicorn is one of the mythical creatures. The unicorn is pretty much a healer. The unicorn is pretty elusive. It's an elusive energy when you think about it, because, unicorns, we don't quite see them, right? But there's a lot of healing energy here. And then we also have the elk. So this is someone who is very stable, very resilient. This is someone who can be headstrong, very stuck in their ways almost. And I think that what is happening for the unicorn person in 2025, or when you connect with them, and we're looking at a 2025 connection, is that they are becoming more centered within their truth, and they are becoming more supportive, more kind, and more consistent. And I think that for most of you, you may already know who this unicorn person is before you even get to 2025. And if you know who this person is going to come in with a lot of change. This person is going to come in with a different energy. They are not going to present with the same energy that you've known them. They have been doing some level of growth, some level of expansion. they have been going through their own personal evolution. But with the unicorn here, this is someone who has had to do some healing and some work. And I think that this unicorn person did go through a period in time where they were not necessarily the best version of themselves. I think this is someone who, at some point in time, they may have struggled with being a bit egotistic. I think at some point in time, this person has struggled with being a little bit of a know it all, a little bit of, I even want to say, a little bit of a control freak. And if you are meeting this person in 2025 and you don't know who this is, the version of them that you are going to meet is a more healed version of them. And I say more because I am a true believer that there's always something to work on, that there's always something that we can improve upon. But when you connect with this unicorn, whether it's a reconnection or a first time meeting, this is someone who is going to be pretty much connected to their higher self and to higher wisdom. This is going to be someone who is putting into practice what they know about themselves and what they have learned about themselves. This is also someone who has undergone a transformation, and I'm really being drawn to this skull. I'm going to hold it up so you can see it. See the skull there in her hair? That's what I'm really being drawn to, plus this toxic card. And I think that this person is going to be putting into practice what they have learned. And I think what's happening for the unicorn is that the unicorn has received a wake-up call. And if you know who this unicorn is, the wake-up call is you no longer putting up with their BS. Now, if this is somebody completely new to you, the wake-up call has been set about by different things. More than likely, they had a relationship that perhaps was not the best thing that they've ever been through, or it wasn't what they desired necessarily. And this unicorn person is really going to be approaching relationships in a very different way. And there's something deeper, there's a deeper understanding. There's something deeper that they have gained that they will be putting into practice. And it's because they went on a quest for answers. I will say, for some of you, this unicorn person went through a level of maybe even therapy to kind of work through their stuff. And what's interesting is that I think that these are two people that do have a lot in common, and two people that will be able to teach one another and grow together. Just making sure there's nothing else that wants to come through here. But let's take a look at the lessons that you, my viewer, are bringing into or taking with you into 2025. 10 of Pentacles. Actually, let's push that back there. Strength. Yeah, this is matching up. I do think most of you are going to be the Peacock. 3 of Pentacles. And then we have the Page of Swords. So, pile number 1. You've learned a lot of lessons in love and relationships, and you are taking a lot of lessons forward with you into 2025. An important lesson that you have learned and an important knowledge that you are taking with you into 2025 has to do with what your definition of a healthy relationship is, what it is that you want to experience in a relationship. And I think that for my pile number 1s, you've gained a level of courage. You've gained a level of understanding yourself and understanding what it is that you want and what it is that you will put up with and not put up with. And I think that going into 2025, my pile number 1s, you have your boundaries. You are aware of what it is that you are not going to entertain. and you are aware of how someone has to come your way if they want you to take them seriously. And if you know this unicorn, you are absolutely setting those boundaries into place. And part of the reason that this person is going to show up with different energy or making changes to their energy is because of you holding them accountable. And another thing is, this isn't just my pile number ones holding the other person accountable. You are holding yourself accountable in 2025. You have learned to improve your communication. You have learned to ask for what it is that you want. And that takes a lot of practice, right? Especially if you've always been someone where you've struggled to communicate your feelings, or you've struggled to communicate your needs and put them into words. You are putting into practice, you're really putting into practice communicating in a clear, concise way, asking for what it is that you want, and pushing past any fears around, if I demand what I want, if I hold someone accountable, are they going to walk away, or are they going to meet me where I need them to? And you've reached a point where if the person cannot give you what you want, you are absolutely okay with that. So there are lessons here that have been learned around what is a healthy relationship for me? What is it that I want to experience in a relationship? What don't I want? What won't I put up with? And I think that, again, that level of self-confidence, that level of self-trust that you now have is also something that's going to be very positive for you in 2025. And there's a lot of dignified strength for this group. There's a lot of courage for this group. And if you are the peacock, having that courage with that rabbit being here, it's because you've done the work. It's because you've earned it through hard work. Let's take a look. So in the reading breakdown, I did mention this, but there's going to be a lot of shuffling on camera for all the groups. And we are going to start by looking at what is possible in love. We will get more into this connection itself, but I want to look at what is possible overall in love for 2025 for my pile number ones. What is possible in love in 2025 for my pile number ones? And we have the King of Cups. Your emotional maturity and wisdom are your crown. Use your authority to maintain harmony and balance in your life and relationships. And this is Prince Eric from Little Mermaid. Let's take a look at what is possible in love in 2025. Ooh, we have Prince Adam with the King of Swords. Your rationality and strategic thinking is your strength. Lead with integrity and fairness as you make decisions that impact others. And that is Prince Adam is from Beauty and the Beast, I believe. And then we have Hercules with strength. Wow, you have strength here twice. Harness your inner courage and patience to overcome challenges. Your gentle strength will lead to victory. So, pile number one. 2025, and this is going to be like an okay duh moment, because 2025 is going to be what you make of it. And one thing that I want to say to my pile number ones, you are in control. The ball is in your court in 2025 when it comes to relationships. You are going to dictate what it is that is the outcome of your relationships. And I know that sounds silly because, again, well, duh, like what else? What's the other option? But I think that there is so much power for you in 2025 where if what you are seeking is a long-term relationship, that is what you are going to create. If you decide that maybe I'm not fully ready for this just yet, that is what is going to happen. If you decide to manifest the right person for you, that is what is going to happen. And what I mean by that is you have the power. And sometimes we want to manifest someone and we can't really manifest the soulmate, it's not time yet. For you in 2025, what is possible is whatever you want it to be. And I think for most of you, what you want is an equal partnership. What you want is someone who's going to show up and do the work, and they're going to meet you halfway. What you want is someone who is a good communicator. What you also want is someone who is emotionally available, someone who is emotionally mature, someone who can do the work with you, show up, and you can both put into the relationship your 100%. And you will not be accepting any less than that. And for most of you, I know I keep saying this, but I have to say it again. I do think you know who this unicorn person is. And if you do not, that is fine. This is somebody else new coming in with these qualities. But if you know who this unicorn person is, if they don't come correct, if they don't come the better version of themselves, you will not hold space for them. And I will say, the unicorn energy is the person who is most prominent, most likely based on the energies as they are today. But you get to choose, and you can always say no and open up your energy to someone else, and there would be someone else. Now, as far as what's possible in relationships, I do think you have the possibility in 2025 to create a very stable relationship, a stable partnership where it can lead to more. I will say I don't necessarily think every single one of you is going to get necessarily engaged or married in 2025, though I do think that is possible for some of you, but it does feel like you establish a relationship that is safe and secure, and you are working towards building a long-lasting partnership, building something that is going to lead to more, building a foundation with the other person. Let's take a look at, sorry, my camera died. Let's take a look at what the relationship dynamics are here. What's going on between my peacock and my unicorn person. Let's take a look at that. I just saw Peter Pan and Wendy at the bottom of the deck with the Six of Cups. For most of you, you know who this is, and this is someone where, again, there's going to be some maturing. Whether you are the peacock or the unicorn, though I do feel most of you will be the peacock, there is a level of maturity coming in. Let's take a look at the relationship dynamics. What are the relationship dynamics between the peacock and the unicorn? I want to take 3. Let's look at the bottom of the deck. The Fool. Yeah, there's a new beginning here. There is a new beginning here. We have the Fool. Actually, I grabbed 4. We have Eugene Fitzbert, or Flynn Rider, with the Knight of Pentacles. Your reliability and diligence is your strength. Stay focused on your goals and proceed with patience to achieve success. Sheesh. Pile number 1, you are getting all of the male energies here. Then we have Cinderella and Prince Charming, 10 of Pentacles. Family, legacy, and tradition are your treasures. Embrace the harmony and wealth that come from a deep state of connection and history. 10 of Pentacles twice there. We have Prince Eric with the King of Cups, and we saw this earlier with your emotional maturity and wisdom are your crown. Use your authority to maintain harmony and balance in your life and relationships. And finally, we have Cinderella's fairy godmother with the Hierophant. Open your heart and mind to the wisdom of the ages to discover the sacred knowledge that leads to fulfillment and happiness. Okay, so let's talk about these relationship dynamics between the peacock and the unicorn. Again, I'm going to sound like a broken record. For most of you, you know who this is. And there's a new beginning here. And this new beginning is whether you completely are meeting this person for the first time or you've already met them. there is a new beginning. There's a new opportunity here. There is newness, and there is an approach to this that requires a level of open-minded, of being open-minded, and also a level of vulnerability. And I think both of you are going to approach this relationship with a bit of, I don't want to say hesitancy, but I want to say there's going to be a careful energy to this. You want to make sure that you're not rushing into anything. And for most of you, this is because you already know this person, you've already dealt with them, you have a history here. And for others of you, this is just because you know what you want. We have this 10 of Pentacles twice. You want stability. You want something that's going to last a long time. You want your life partner. You want your marriage partner. You want the person that you are going to build a legacy with, whatever that means for you. That some of you are looking to have a family. For others of you, it's going to be fur babies maybe, or it's going to be just somebody that you are going to live life and you want it to stand the test of time, and you want to build with someone who is reliable, honest, who is available to you. So there is that level of approaching this with a bit of care, a little bit of mindfulness, if you will. That's a better word. And there's also a lot of trust here that you are going to be building with this person. And for some of you, trust is going to be kind of the thing that you are going to be most focused on. Can I trust you? Can you trust me? But can I open my heart to you? And the dynamics here, I actually really like them, because I think that there's a lot of stability here, and like I said, there's a lot of earth energy for this group, with Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and it's showing in the dynamics. It's showing throughout the reading of, we are really coming into this with the intention of building something, whether you know this person or not. There is an intention to build something that is going to be long lasting when this comes together. There is a respectful aspect. And I wonder for some of you, because you did pick the sticker with Ginny and Harry from Harry Potter, if it's also that maybe this isn't necessarily somebody that you've dated before, but maybe it's someone that you know their family and they know yours, or you know them from like a friend group, because there is a level of care to this connection where it really feels like, we don't want to ruin this. We don't want to mess this up. We need to approach this with care, because if we don't, there's almost like, there's consequences. And it could be as simple as, I don't want to get hurt. It could be, I am very respectful, which is a good thing, right? Being respectful to someone else and their time and their energy, and not wasting anyone's time and energy, and not wasting your own as well. But there feels to be like something where it's really being approached with love and care, and it's really being approached with intent. This is a connection where it doesn't feel like either of these people, the peacock or the unicorn, are going into this with carelessness. And it doesn't feel like either are trying to rush into anything. So there is a lot of communication here. There is a lot of respect here. And there is the intention of something more. But the thing is, in order to get there, in order to start this, there needs to be a leap of faith. There needs to be the giving each other the chance. And I think for those of you who know who this is, who you've already met this person in whatever the circumstances are, that you guys may struggle a bit more than those of you that don't know who this is, that have never met this person, that have no idea who this is, because I think that's where the trepidation comes in. It's for those of you that are aware of who this is and may have a history, whatever that history is with this person. Let's look at what brings you together, because I am very curious here as to what is bringing these two energies together. I'm going to shuffle it this way because I don't want to blow the cards away. All right, what brings my peacock and my unicorn person together? Some of the things I say in this reading, listen, never thought I would say some of these things. What brings my peacock person and my unicorn person together? What brings them together? We have Princess Rapunzel and Flynn Rider with the world. There's something here that's not complete. There's something here that's not over yet with the world. And for those of you that don't know who this is, it's a soulmate. What brings you together is that it's part of your blueprint to come together with this person. Princess Anna of Arendelle with Page of Cups. Your intuition and creativity is your greatest strengths. Dive into your inner world with curiosity and express your emotions with grace. I love this already. And then we have the Six of Wands with Megara with victory and recognition are yours. Your perseverance has paid off. And now is the time to bask in the glory of your achievements. What's bringing you together is what you want. What's bringing you together for some of you, it's feelings that are still existent. It's feelings that are still there. What's bringing you together, I think for most of you, is the fact that something isn't still coming to an end, that there's still something that has yet to wrap up. There's no closure here for some of you. Now, for those of you that don't know who this is, you have the same goals, you have the same desires. This is someone that you have a lot in common with. This is someone that when you connect to this person, there's going to be almost an instant recognition of comfort. There's going to be an instant level of almost like I know this person gets me, a level of understanding. And there's also the desire for the same thing. And I think that both the peacock and the unicorn desire romance, both desire a relationship, and both desire partnership, and both want successful relationships, both want healthy relationships, both want something that can stand the test of time, something that is not, I'm hearing modern, right? Like for this group, the deck that you chose is the Fairytale deck. I think that says a lot. I think that says a lot about who you are and what you want. And it's coming through in the reading of what brings you together is what you want, but what you want is so similar, and what you want is something more traditional, and what you want is someone who is going to choose you and you're going to choose them, and you're going to be able to do that over and over again without feeling like this person may walk away from you, like you can't trust this person. And I think both of you want the same ending. I don't know if that's the right way to say that, but like I think both of you want the same happily ever after, if you will, like whether it's let's get married and have a family, or let's build some sort of legacy where maybe we build an empire together, whatever that empire means for both of you. Your views, your values are very much aligned to this person, and that's what brings you together. Let's look at what can pull you apart. And as I said in the intro, this is meant to give you information. This is meant to share with you what to be on the lookout for. It's meant to be a little bit of an obstacle, because it is my belief that no relationship is 100% happy at all times. And if you have a relationship like that, please share the secrets. But you know, we always have to go through growing pains. We always have to work through things. So this is meant to kind of give you some information on that. So what can kind of get in the way? What should you be on the lookout for my pile number ones? What is that thing? It's going to be these two. We have Princess Moana with the Two of Swords. A decision looms before you, and it's time to weigh your options. Trust in your inner wisdom, even when the choices are difficult. I'm not surprised to see that here. And we're going to talk about it, but let's see what else we have. Prince Naveen, and this is from Princess and the Frog, I believe. Knight of Wands, you are a passionate and bold explorer. Trust your instincts and charge forward with confidence and determination. And we have the Queen herself, Maleficent. Trust your intuition and inner knowledge. Explore the mysteries within yourself to find the answers you seek. Pile number one. What can pull you apart or what can get in the way? It's going to be split into two messages. If you know who this is, there is a level of, I want to be careful because I don't want to get hurt. Because I think if you know who this is, especially if you are the peacock and this is the unicorn and you know who this was somebody who was not always the best version of themselves. And I think that you were able to see what the best version of themselves was, but this wasn't somebody who always acted in that way. And I think that this was someone who could kind of be a little bit of an ass at times. And I want to make this clear. This unicorn person was in no way abusive. This wasn't someone that was doing something to purposely hurt you. I would never channel that type of energy. This could be someone who was who could have been very undecisive. This could have been someone who just didn't know what they wanted. This could have been somebody who struggled with communication. Those weren't great things, but I'm not channeling somebody who hurt you physically, who hurt you purposefully. And I think that if you know who this was, the hesitation here is, can I trust this person after what they've put me through? Can I trust this person because this would be giving something a second chance, and maybe that's not the right thing to do. Maybe this isn't a soulmate, maybe this is a stalemate. And there could be a level of overthinking. And it could be due because you know who this is and you've seen them at their worst. Now, for those of you that have never met your person, there's also a level here that's very similar to that of questioning yourself, not knowing if you can trust this person. Because I do think for my pile number ones, you do tend to have a very overactive imagination. I think you tend to go into analysis paralysis from time to time. And it could very well be that what gets in the way is exactly that. And I think that for this group, regardless of if you know this person or not, what could possibly get in the way of this is the beginning, whether you choose to open up to this person and give them a chance or not. And I think for some of you, when you look at the unicorn person, you may see someone who's a little bit of a player, or they may come across that way, because I do want to say, with the elk being here for the unicorn, this is someone who can come across as very, very confident, almost to the point where they can kind of move into cockiness or like overconfidence, and it could be a little bit off-putting. I think they've worked on that quite a bit, but I think that that is still part of the energy that they operate under. So keep that in mind. But overall, this has to do with over analyzing, questioning yourself, and maybe not being fully open to giving this a chance. That's what can pull you apart. It's like not giving it a chance to take off, if you will. I want to see what's underneath underneath the Two of Swords, we had the Knight of Swords. It could be overthinking. And for some of you, I will say this, I think some of you will have more opportunities, meaning that you may have more than one person that is interested and more than one person that you consider connecting to. So it could just be about trusting which person is the right one for you. But I think that mainly for this group, it's about getting started. Once you get started, I think you both work through any issues that come up quite well together. Let's look at the feelings here. Feelings for one another. So we're going to pull some cards for their feelings for you and your feelings for them. And then we're going to look at some love languages and some other stuff. Okay, what is the unicorn's feelings about the peacock? I'm going to pull two of these cards, and that's the unicorn's feeling towards the peacock and the peacock's feelings towards the unicorn. It's going to be these two. I don't know why that was so hard. And the nine of, yeah, there's wish fulfillment here. And we have Princess Elsa and Anna. Let's look at the unicorn's feelings for the peacock. Let's start here. We have Ballerina with the Eight of Swords. We have feelings of entrapment may be self-imposed. Change your perspective and you'll discover that the way forward is clearer than you thought. And we have the Queen of Hearts with the Three of Swords. Embrace your pain and grief, for healing begins with acknowledging the hurt. In time, the storm will pass and your heart will mend. I'm going to say, pile number one, if I had any doubts, that I would say most, if not all of you, know who this person is, these two cards have kind of removed that. Again, there could be one or two of you, where you don't know who this is. I would be shocked if the grand majority of you don't know who this is. And this is the peacock's feelings for the unicorn. We have the Two of Cups. Yeah. A bond of love and harmony is formed. This partnership is based on respect and affection. Celebrate the unity that brings you together. And then we have Quasimodo of Notre Dame with the Tower. Unexpected events can be a catalyst for change. Embrace upheaval as an opportunity for rebuilding and renewal. Who do you know who this is? Pile number one. Please don't make me feel crazy. Confirm in the comments if you know who your person is. But let's talk about it. So the unicorn, and when I pull this, I'm not necessarily pulling this like mid 2025 if you are with this person. For this group, because you already know this person, I think it's speaking to what's happening right now. For the unicorn is overthinking, overanalyzing. The unicorn is in a lot of pain. The unicorn has strong feelings for my peacock person, but the unicorn is going through a level of heartbreak. And I almost feel like this Eight of Swords, Three of Swords combination is the unicorn overthinking, overanalyzing. And this is the energy of, did I really lose this person? Did I really screw this up? Is there a way for me to fix this? What if I can't fix this? What am I going to do? Your unicorn person is, man, oh man, are they struggling. They are feeling it. I don't know what this person did to you. They fumbled. That's what this is. They fumbled and they are struggling through this. And for most of you, you are the catalyst in the healing that the unicorn is doing. And I would not be surprised if this energy was channeled before all of this happened. If this unicorn had like a lion, some sort of cat, some sort of like overly confident energy, not a unicorn show up for them. Because they are hurting, they are afraid, and they are struggling. And for those of you who are watching and you're just like, I just don't know who this person is, but I feel like this is the reading for me. This person is currently healing from heartbreak. And that doesn't necessarily mean, because if they're showing up as your partner, that doesn't necessarily mean that they won't heal from the heartbreak. But there is a level of them going through, and heartbreak doesn't only happen in love or in romance. It can be just, having to face themselves and do the healing, and having to deal with the repercussions of their actions, and having to be accountable for the choices that they've made that have brought them this far. Regardless, I feel that the unicorn is in a place of, man, am I going to get what I want? Did I lose something? Am I not going to be able to get the relationship and the person that I desire? Now, when it comes to the peacock's feelings for the unicorn, we have the Two of Cups and we have the Tower, and those are very interesting energies. And the peacock is feeling for the unicorn many things. One thing that I will say is, I think the peacock understands and knows that they have love, and that they're probably always going to have love for this unicorn person. And I think that there's also, with the Tower here, this understanding that maybe even though you love them, maybe even though you care about them, that this won't be something that is going to take root. And that can be a very painful thought. I think that this is the energy of two people that care about one another but are currently in separation. When it comes to the unicorn, they're stuck in their dark night of the soul when it comes to this. And again, if you don't know this person, it could just even be they're feeling lonely. They're feeling like they're not going to find their person. For the peacock, the peacock is choosing to approach this from a place of love and light, from a place of, I love you, I'm sending love to you, even though maybe we're not together right now. And I'm dealing with the repercussions of not being together. I'm dealing with the reality of the changes that have happened, but I'm still choosing to operate from a place of love. That's beautiful energy. Let's talk about the love languages before we start to wrap this up, because I think I just realized we are going strong here. This is going to probably be one of the longest readings I've done. All right. Love languages. Spirit, what is the peacock's love language? And Spirit, what is the unicorn's love language? There we go. Bottom of the deck, Knight of Swords with John Smith. Your determination and quick thinking set you on a bold quest. Charge forward with bravery and courage to overcome obstacles. Peacock's love language, what do we have here? We have the Five of Wands, Gaston. Conflict and competition are a part of growth. Embrace challenges as opportunities to sharpen your skills and overcome obstacles. And then for the unicorn, we have the Three of Wands. Your vision expands and your efforts pay off. Keep your eyes on the horizon because luck and abundance are on the way. So I will say, when it comes to both of these people, there's a lot of similarities. And I think that those similarities also really apply when it comes to love languages. For the peacock, I think the love language of words of affirmation here and acts of services are very important. And I think that that is very true for the unicorn as well. I will say physical touch for both of these people are coming through as important as well. But if I had to say for the peacock, words of affirmation and acts of service are the most important in that order. And for the unicorn with this Three of Wands, I will say words of affirmation. Actually, yeah, they're the same. I really think you both have the same love languages. Yeah, words of affirmations, act of service is what I'm getting for both, with physical touch. But this is physical touch like with each other. I don't think that that's the case in like with just anyone, where you are probably not super into touch. It has to be like your person, if that makes sense. Let's take a look at what else we have here. So I pulled these two cards just to give us more information about the relationship itself. The Sun. And the fifth chakra with Archangel Gabriel. And this is the throat chakra. Yep, the throat chakra. Okay. So with the Sun being here, again, there's a lot of happiness that is available to both of you through this connection, if you choose that that is what you are going to open yourself to. For my pile number one, communication is going to be super important. And I think communication is already very important to you, and that you are aware that in order for this to really work, there has to be open communication and there are things that need to be talked through. If you've never met this person, it's kind of the same energy here of just open communication, being able to communicate and being able to share your needs with someone is very important. 1 and 3 energy. So some of you could see 1111. Some of you could see 333 before this person comes into your life. 1010 as well, coming through as important. But it's very important for both of you to communicate in this relationship, in this connection. And there, again, there's a lot of happiness. There's a lot of possibility here for both of you. Let's take a look at what else we have. Put the computer away. Working less will help strengthen your relationship. Forgiveness, forgiving yourself or another will help you move forward. Yeah, for some of you, you know who this is, and there will be opportunities to talk. Self-care, clear your energy field and focus on yourself before acting. And intuition, you already know the answer you seek. You know. And for many of you, you know who this is. Pile number 1, as you move into 2025 and through 2025, make sure that you are holding space for yourself, that you are taking care of yourself, that you are giving yourself a break. I am seeing the snake spirit animal or totem animal for this group. There's a lot of transformation here. Whether you know this person or not, trust and believe that there is a lot of transformation here for both of you. And I also want to just, as always, emphasize that if you heard this reading and you made it through the end, also thank you for being here if you did make it through the end, but you are just like, this is not the person for me, that's up to you. You are the co-creator in your life. You change your energy. You decide this is not the person for you, and you do that. If you do think this is the person for you, claim it. Just say, hey, I claim it. Pile number 1. Hey, if you are pile number 1, comment 111. Claim it in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about the reading. But thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing me to read for you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment. It helps me out so much. Let me know what else you'd like to see next on the channel. I am always open to ideas. Stay tuned for polls. I always post those. But yeah, I am sending so much love, so many blessings, and we will talk soon. Bye for now. Hello, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be your reading if you were drawn to the Edward and Bella sticker from Twilight. We are going to place this right over here. So as a reminder, it's a general reading. Take what resonates. If it does not fit, do not force it to fit. You know yourself best. For this reading, I did do a reading breakdown, and I highly, highly, highly recommend that you check that out because it's going to tell you more about the reading, what to expect, and how it's going to be structured. So for this reading, I picked cards for your current energy, and I picked cards for the person that is most likely to be in your life in 2025. This is the energy of the person that is most prominent, right? So if some of you are going to date multiple people, just know that we're only picking up on one energy ideally. We'll see how the reading turns out. Sometimes I have a plan and Spirit has a different plan. But let's get started here. If you don't resonate with this or this is probably not your pile. Try choosing a different one, or there may be no message for you in this reading. So we have the Fire Ant. Ooh, the Golden Egg. That is a beautiful card. We have Passion. And then finally, we have Luna or Moon. And then for your person, we have Stop. The raccoon is my favorite animal, pile number 2. Are you going to be my favorite pile? Don't tell the other piles. The Bee. Okay. We have the Fragile Thread. I don't know why these cards are not staying the way I want them to. And then we have Time. Let's fix these. Please cooperate with me. Okay, that's looking good. So let's talk about the energies. I'm going to start with my viewer, or the intent is that this is you, but this could be you. But remember, if you're not here or there, this is not your reading. But wait, I'm going to call my viewer the fire ant. I'm going to call your person the raccoon. But let's start with the fire ant. And let's start by talking about the signs, because I know some of you really love to do that. So first and foremost, we have fire, which is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. The golden egg in this pile, or I guess in this deck, is like a mythological or a spirit card where it doesn't have a specific sign. But with the fire card, I'm seeing more fire signs here. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius kind of doubled. And then with the Luna or the Moon, I'm seeing Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy, especially with the Cancer energy here. So you could be one of those signs. You don't have to be for the message to resonate. But let's talk about the fire ant. So the fire ant is very, very disciplined. The fire ant, I mean, when we think about the fire ants, these are animals that are very good at creating, right? They're very good at working together and creating and getting the work done, right? So you could be someone that enjoys collaborating. You could be someone that is like maybe a people manager. You could just be someone that has a lot of friends, and we have a lot of fire signs here. So my fire ant person, my pile number 2s, you could be someone who's very extroverted, outgoing, or you're just very good when it comes to connecting with people and understanding people and being able to hold space for people. You're also very thoughtful. And I think that currently, with your energy being represented by the fire ant, the golden egg, the passion, and the Luna card, there's a lot happening for you. There's a lot happening internally. There's probably a lot happening externally as well. And I think that one thing that you are currently holding space for in your life is more play, more creativity, more creation. I also think that my pile number 2s, you are dealing with a lot of emotions. And I think at this time you could be working through some shadow self, doing some shadow work, right? Some shadow self work. And I also think that right now there's a lot happening in your heart chakra. There's a lot happening with your root chakra as well. For my pile number 1s, music can be very important. That's coming through very strongly with the golden egg and the passion card. There's also a lot of focus on your energy at this time and where you are investing your energy. And I think for my fire ant, there is a lot of just being very aware of the people in your life, what they bring and what they don't bring, almost, right? Like what the people, how people in your life are showing up. And one thing that the fire ant is doing is that the fire ant is becoming more comfortable when it comes to vulnerability, when it comes to opening up and sharing more of themselves. Because I think that the fire ant is very good at connecting. But I also think that this is someone who likes to keep their deep thoughts to themselves. Like, this isn't someone who's necessarily connecting with everyone and sharing their deep, dark secrets right away, which, good for you. I don't think that should be the case, but I know some people can be very open. I think the fire ant, it's like, I can connect, I can really have fun, I can really talk about surface level things, I can do all of that, but when it comes to truly being vulnerable, sometimes there is a level of hesitancy here. And my fire ant is this is someone who feels things very deeply. There's a lot of feelings here, there's a lot of tenderness here, there's a lot of loving energy from the fire ant that is here. And I also think that the fire ant has a lot that they have been realizing about themselves. And I said this when I said there's been a level of shadow work going on for the fire ant. And I think what's happening is that the fire ant is realizing some triggers, some deeper things about themselves that maybe they weren't really realizing or they weren't really acknowledging before. And the fire ant is also, I think, really sitting with the emotions that are coming up at this time. And there are some things that are making my fire ant person pretty sensitive, and we have the moon card here. So there's a lot of emotions being brought up to the surface, and they're being brought up to the surface for a reason. And the fire ant is learning how to be comfortable with those emotions, how to be comfortable with those things that are coming up. And one thing about the fire ant is that this is someone who is not afraid of being alone. And I think for most, the fire ant has been alone for a while. And part of what could be coming up, it could be feelings of maybe feeling a little bit lonely, maybe feeling like, you know what, I'm ready. I'm ready to connect, right? I'm ready to allow people in, because it feels like for some, the fire ant went through a period of, I just want to be by myself. I just want to do the healing. I just want to focus on myself. And if that's the case, it really does feel like the fire ant is reaching the point of, I want to connect. I want to open up. And I'm getting a lot of Cancer vibes for my fire ant, in the sense of the crab, and how Cancer is probably one of the most sensitive signs in the zodiac, but also one of the signs that really kind of puts a shell around their heart. Because I do think the fire ant is very protective of their heart and very protective of their energy, even though, again, they come across as very warm. They're very willing to help, very willing to connect with others. And part of what the fire ant is working on is opening up and getting ready to connect. And I think the fire ant is really working on their heart chakra at this time, and their sacral and solar plexus chakras as well. But the heart chakra feels like a very big focus point for the fire ant at this time. Now I want to talk about the raccoon person. And for the raccoon person, we have the earth signs being represented. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. We also have air, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And I'm also seeing a bit of earth. So, actually, we already talked about earth, which is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So those are the main signs. Again, this person doesn't necessarily have to be one of those signs. Those are just the energies that are coming up. Take it as additional confirmation, but it doesn't have to be the end all be all. But we have the raccoon here. And one thing that I want to say about this raccoon is that if we look at all of the cards, the darkest card is the raccoon. The raccoon is a little bit of a night owl, if you will, nocturnal. They mostly come out at night. And the raccoon is someone who, I mean, the raccoon is known as the bandit, right? The raccoon is known as being quite resourceful. And this raccoon person has been going through a lot. And I think this is someone who has done a lot of healing for themselves. This is also someone who is a night owl. They have a very playful energy. They have a lot of talents. This is someone who's very skillful. And I want to say, I think both of the fire ant and the raccoon, there's a strong connection to music. I keep seeing instruments. I keep seeing music. So one or both of you could be a musician, or it could be that a lot of the healing work that you do when you are going through it, music is something that you really lean into. But this raccoon person is very friendly, very creative. This raccoon person is very much aware of themselves and their surroundings. This is someone who is very self-aware. And I will say, I don't necessarily think the raccoon is the most trusting of people. I think it takes a while before the raccoon opens up. And for some of you, the raccoon could quite literally be a artist, like do something artistic for a living, or have dreams of doing something artistic, sharing their art with the world. That is coming through very, very strongly. But the raccoon is someone who, when we talk about raccoons, we see the mask, right? That's why they're called the bandit. And the mask is actually to help them see better. But when it comes to this raccoon person, I think this raccoon person is very good at masking their true feelings and of showing up in the world in the way that they think that they have to. And I think that that's something that the raccoon has been working towards. This is someone who is very hardworking. This is someone, for some of you, the raccoon person could do something with like content creation. There's something very creative about both of you, but especially the raccoon person. So the raccoon is also somebody who is very active, constantly on the go. I do feel for some of you, this raccoon is quite overworked. This is somebody who could be overworking themselves to achieve their goals. And someone who feels like they may be running out of time to do something, or like maybe they just feel like they don't have enough time to do whatever it is that they need to do. But this raccoon person is very, very sensitive, but they don't necessarily show that side of themselves to just anyone. And they have a very friendly, very playful energy to them as well. And but don't get it twisted. The raccoon is not someone I would try to cross, because I do think, and it's true for both of these people, I do think they will sting you. They do have the bee to represent them as well. So this is someone who is not afraid to sting if they have to. But this raccoon is also, we also have this fragile thread coming up here for this raccoon. And I think that this is someone who is constantly going through transformation. And I think that this is someone who is a lot more sensitive than they show, right? Again, we have that mask there coming up for a reason. And I want to be clear, pile number 2. I am in no way saying that the raccoon is wearing a mask to play games. It feels more of like a self-protection, like what they show to the world is what they want the world to see. But it's not like somebody who's necessarily playing games or somebody who's trying to fool someone or anything like that. But this is someone who wears their heart on their sleeve, and this is someone who is very sensitive, very loving, very giving, and someone who knows how to treat their partner. And I also think that the raccoon person cherishes their life, and they quite cherish the just being alive. Like, this is someone who does enjoy life, even though they deal with some difficulties from time to time. Let's keep going. So we are going to look at a major lesson, or an important lesson that you, my viewer, are taking with you into 2025. So we have the 5 of Pentacles. Yeah. I'm not surprised to see that there. We'll talk about it. The Star. The 6 of Cups. And then finally, we have the Knight of Swords. All right. So pile number 2. There are a few lessons here that you're taking with you into 2025. And I think a big lesson that my pile number 2s are taking is the realization that you don't want to be alone. The realization that you are ready for a connection. And I think that for my pile number 2s, you may struggle or may have struggled in the past with perhaps not being sure if there was somebody out there for you, or what your beliefs were around love and relationships. And going into 2025, there's a very decisive energy. My pile number 2s, you've done a lot of healing around belief systems, around past relationships as well. Because we have the 6 of Cups here, we have the 5 of Pentacles, we have the Star, and we have the Knight of Swords. The story to me is very clear. My pile number 2s, you've done a lot of healing around what you believe is possible in love and what it is that you want to create for yourself. And I think in 2025, you are going into 2025 with a very clear understanding of what it is that you want to create, and also with determination to create that. And I am in no way saying that my pile number twos are going to be out there chasing someone. That is not what I'm saying at all. But it does feel like this is somebody who's saying, you know what, I do want a relationship. I do want a partnership. So I am going to put myself out there. I am going to go on dates. I am going to maybe join, I don't know, speed dating. Maybe I'm going to join hobbies that I enjoy that maybe I can meet somebody there. Maybe I'm going to let my friends and family know that I'm open to a relationship so that if they know somebody, they can introduce me. But there is a very clear, I'm making a conscious choice of what I want. And instead of feeling like it's not for me, like it's never going to happen for me, I am consciously choosing to hold space for it to come in and for to not only to hope for the best, but to expect the best. And for my pile number twos, there's been a lot of healing here around your expectations and your beliefs around love and relationships. And I think that you're going into 2025 with a lot of hope and optimism. And I will say, I think for most of you, you haven't met this raccoon person yet. You don't know who this is. This isn't somebody that is already in your life in any way. This feels like somebody brand new that you will be connecting with. And if this is somebody that maybe at some point you knew, this is probably not somebody that you had like a long-term relationship with. Okay, so pile number two. We are going to start the rest of your reading. And if you saw the intro, well, the reading breakdown, you will know that we are going to be shuffling on camera for a big portion of this reading. And we're going to start to look at what is possible in love in 2025 for you, pile number two. I'm going to try to shuffle these so that I don't blow away all of the cards that are already on the table. So I'm going to shuffle this way. All right, what is possible in love for my pile number twos in 2025? What's possible in love for my pile number twos in 2025? I was going to do two, and that's three. We'll take it. Three of Pentacles. Take a look at what we have here. The World. Knight of Wands. The Empress. Okay, so pile number two. What's possible in love for you in 2025 is a complete change of what you were already experiencing. So for my pile number twos, I think 2025 is going to be a year where you are going to be able to connect, have fun, do the things that you want to do, go on the dates, have romance in your life. And I also think that 2025 is a year where your approach to love and relationships is going to be different than what it previously was. And what I mean by that is that in 2025, you have the opportunity to date, but there's also an emphasis on self-care and self-love. With the Empress here, that is coming through very clearly of like, yeah, for 2025, my pile number twos are going to be in their flirty era. They're going to be dating. They're going to be, some of you in relationships, and we'll get to that. But it's also going to be very balanced. And I think that for some of you in the past, when it came to relationships and connections, you may have lost yourself a bit in those relationships where you invested all of your time and energy into the relationship, and maybe the other person wasn't necessarily investing that time and energy back into the relationship itself and into you. So there's a lot more of a balanced approach here. Now, because I'm seeing this, I'm going to mention it. We do have the World card and we do have the Empress card. For some of you, there is a possibility to bring life into this world where you could become a parent. For others of you, this could be 2025 could be the year where you get engaged and or even married to someone. But I think for the grand majority of you, it's going to be more of dating, and it's going to be more of spending time with other people or with the other person and figuring out what it is that you want and doing so in a way that feels good to you. But regardless, there's a lot of progress in love and relationships in 2025 for my pile number twos, where if you're going in single, and I think most of you are going in single, you have the opportunity to date, you have the opportunity to approach love and dating in a more healthier way and in a more balanced way that works with you. That's not to say that you weren't healthy or balanced about it before, but I think that it's going to be even more balanced, even healthier than it was. And I think for some of you, there was a level of, again, dating and relationships tending to take over and feeling just not so great. Where I think 2025, there's an opportunity for this to come in and feel good for you. Um, but yeah, for those of you that are going into 2025 and you are in a connection or you're getting to know someone and it's the raccoon person and you're just like, yeah, I already know the raccoon. There is a possibility for there to be a step up in the relationship, whether that is, again, let's welcome in a child, let's start a family, let's get engaged, let's move in together. That's possible as well, but I feel like that's for the minority of you. Let's keep going. So we're going to look at the relationship dynamics between the fire ant and the raccoon. What are the relationship dynamics between the fire ant and the raccoon? All right, let's look underneath the deck. Page of Cups. I love this energy for you, pile number two, because a lot of your energy throughout this reading for both of you, it's showing up playful. It's showing up like very, almost like, you know, when you were a teenager. And if you're under 18, you're not supposed to be here. Come back when you are 18. But when you were a teenager and you were in those, you know, like puppy love, like teenage love, that's what this energy is giving. And I love that for you because it's like very romantic, very excited, very butterfly, butterflies in the stomach, all of that beautiful energy coming through. Let's see what we have here. The Queen of Wands. I'm already liking this. The Nine of Wands. We'll talk about it. And the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. So pile number two, the relationship dynamics between the fire ant and the raccoon. First and foremost, these are two people who are their own person. These are two people who are very independent. These are two people who have their own interests, who have their own personalities, who have their own friendships. And what is going to happen is that you will be combining these things. You will be joining together. This is not a codependent relationship, and I want to be clear, as humans, we are meant to be codependent. We will always be codependent. We are social creatures. But this is not unhealthily codependent, meaning that both of you, both the fire ant and the raccoon, want to make sure that they keep their independence. They want to make sure that they keep their interests alive. And that is really going to help the relationship. I do feel you will both be introducing one another into your worlds because I think that you are both creative, the creative types. And I said that towards the beginning when I started the reading. it's really coming through. But I think the way that you create and your interests are somewhat different. So I think there is space for both of you to introduce the other to your world, to your life. And I think both of you will enjoy that. And both of you will enjoy supporting the other person. Now, I also think that there is an opportunity for this to really take ground and really become something that is serious. And I will say, I don't think either of you will be rushing into this, but I do feel there is an understanding of like, we want the same things. This has the potential. Let's at least establish this into an actual relationship. This is not giving situationship vibes. This is giving, hey, do you want to, like, let's call it what it is. This is love. This is a relationship. We are together. We are exclusive. This is two people that are having the talk, right? This is not like the are we or aren't we, what are we doing type of energy. Not getting that at all, pile number 2, which I love for you. And one thing that I will say, because I want to talk about the 9 of Wands being here. I think both the fire ant and the raccoon are very busy. Both of them are very focused on achieving certain goals, certain things for themselves, for their future. And I think that in the relationship, you're both going to be able to hold space for one another to thrive. And you're both going to be able to kind of be a cheerleader for one another. And I think that in this relationship, one thing that's going to be very beautiful is that you both keep your independence. And I'm seeing the cat here on the tattoo of the cat and the sunflower. They're standing out to me. Because it's both of you being independent. It's both of you keeping the things that bring you joy and just adding to one another, right? Adding those things to one another and bringing in more joy, more support to the other person's life. So again, it's like I am a full, whole person and so are you, but we're going to connect and we're going to support one another. I do think in 2025, for a few of you, there is an opportunity for you both to move in together. Some of you could be parents, or it could be the other person is a parent, and or it could be both of you. Like there's a bringing in, there's a combining of responsibilities in a way that works for both of you. And I think for some of you that is going to show up by like you moving in with a person, by you cohabitating with a person. Again, I don't feel like you're rushing into this, so this may be like more towards the end of 2025 into 2026, or it could just be that you make plans for it, but you both support one another, especially when you are struggling, when you are feeling very busy, when you are just really needing that support to show up. So this is a very supportive, very loving energy that both of you have together. Let's take a look at what brings you together. What brings my pile number 2s together? I'm going to cut the deck one more time. What brings my pile number 2s together? Balance is very important for this connection. That keeps coming through. You picked the number 2, but I'm seeing 222 for this group. The Hierophant. So what brings you together? Justice. 9 of Pentacles. Yeah. 4 of Wands. So for my pile number 2s, this is, for most of you, this is somebody that was meant to come in your life. This is like a fated, destined meeting. And I always say when there is a fate, when I say fated or destined, I mean the meeting itself. What you do with the energy is completely up to you. But there is a level of fate. There is a level of meant to be to this connection. And for some of you, I do think that this person could be brought in by maybe like a friend or a family member. This could also be like just having similar hobbies and connecting in that way. But what brings you together, what connects you, is you respect one another. You have a deep understanding and respect for one another. And I think for my pile number 2s, there is a friendship that develops that is the base of the relationship. There is that mutual respect, because it's one thing to be with someone that you like, that you have romantic feelings for. It's a completely different thing to be with someone that you truly respect as a person, that no matter what happens in romance, that you still look at that person and you admire them and you have things in common with. There is a very strong foundation for this relationship. And I really do think for many of my pile number twos, there's almost this like friends to lovers vibe that is here, whether it's we meet and we're friends first, or we meet with the intention to date, but we build a very stable friendship at the base of that. That's what's coming through. Um, what brings you together is your similar goals, your understanding of how the other works, and your similar end game, if you will. And for my pile number twos, some of you are definitely going to be introduced by like a friend or a family member, or it's like you meet through some sort of like some shared interest. But you're coming together because it's meant to be. You're coming together because you're meant to connect with one another. And this really does feel fated for this group. This really does feel destined. Like you meeting feels like that was just meant to happen. This person was meant to be in your life. Now, what you create with that is up to you. What you do with that is up to both of you. But at the very least, I think this is somebody that you are meant to meet, you are meant to connect with. And there's a lot of gratitude here. Like you are both very grateful for one another. That's coming through as well. Like there's a lot of gratitude that this, like I'm grateful that this person is in my life. I am grateful for who this person is. I am grateful for what this person represents in my life. Let's take a look at and I worded this what can pull you apart, or this is meant to be like an obstacle, because relationships are not easy. And it's good to be aware of any obstacles that may get in the way of what we are trying to build. All right, let's take a look at what can pull you apart. What's the obstacle here in this connection, in this relationship, so that you are aware of it. And if you see it happening, you can recognize it. The Devil. Communicate. For this group, communicate, talk it out. Don't assume. Don't assume anything. The Lovers and the Sun. You know what's interesting? The Lovers and the Sun are perhaps two of like the happiest energies in tarot. So to have them come up as like what can pull you apart, we have the Sun, which is again like one of the happiest energies in tarot. It's very interesting. So a big thing for this group to look out for is be careful of overthinking. Be careful of assuming, doubting that because there's almost this energy of like, is this too good to be true? Is this what it is? Am I seeing something that's not here? Like this seems great. Am I imagining this? And it's almost like there's a possibility that one or both of you can get in the way of your own blessings. Be careful if you start nitpicking. Be careful if you start trying to pull every single little thing apart, because I think there is an opportunity, or there is a way where for both of you, this can feel so good, this can feel so aligned, and that may not be something that one or both of you are used to, that you start to doubt yourself, that you start to almost, again, pick it apart, almost feel like, I don't know, like it starts to feel uncomfortable. And I am not in any way saying that this relationship, this connection won't have any issues, because, I mean, we're humans. We're meant to go through ups and downs. And relationships will always have things to work through. But be careful, because when we have the sun is almost like positive thinking or spiritual bypassing to, I refuse to acknowledge what's in front of me where I only see the positive. So the sun as an obstacle can absolutely be, I am going to focus on the negative, or I am going to find the problems. I am going to nitpick at something that maybe isn't even there. I am going to self-sabotage. And we have the Lovers here as well. And one thing that can pull you apart, and I said this with the Devil, communicate, communicate, communicate. Talk about it, communicate. Don't just assume. Don't just bypass it. Don't act like it's not happening. An important thing for this group is going to be maintaining both of your identities and maintaining your self-love. One thing that I think is important for both of these people, but if I'm honest, also for the fire ant more than the raccoon, is maintaining your identity and not getting lost in the relationship or not getting lost in someone else's life or someone else's stuff. Meaning you can be a supportive partner, you can show up, you can be the best version of yourself, but you also still maintain your independence, your identity. And throughout the reading, that keeps coming up as important. And it's coming up as important again. Now, another thing that I will say, because I see the Devil here and I see the Page of Swords underneath that, and we also see the Lovers and the Sun, is communication, communication, communication. Be careful that you're not trying to manipulate one another. And it's important to express yourself, your needs, your wants. And I'm talking to my viewer because I can't talk to your person, right? I can only talk to you. But it's important that you hold space for open communication so that those things don't come into play in this connection, in this relationship. But overall, I do think this is something that both of you will easily work through, because this is kind of like the challenge that comes with the relationship. Let's take a look at the feelings for one another. So what will the feelings be for one another? Spirit, the raccoon. What will the raccoon be feeling for the fire ant? The raccoon. What is the raccoon feeling for the fire ant? And what is the fire ant feeling for the raccoon? What are the fire ant's feelings for the raccoon? These cards are so sticky. Okay. Bottom of the deck, what do we have? The Six of Pentacles. Yeah, there's a lot of balance here. So for this, my intention with these are, once you are in a connection, once you meet, once you are doing what you got to be doing, what are the feelings? And this is the raccoon for the fire ant. Eight of Pentacles. Four of Cups. And then we have the fire ant for the raccoon. The Emperor. And wow, the 10 of Cups. All right, let's talk about it. So for the raccoon, the feelings for the raccoons when it comes to the fire ant, we have the Four of Cups and we have the Eight of Pentacles. There's a lot of tenderness here. There's a lot of care. There is a lot of stability and a strong foundation here. And I do think that the raccoon really cares about the fire ant. I also think that the fire ant comes into the raccoon's life and really, it's almost like the raccoon shakes up the fire ant shakes up the raccoon's life to where I do think the raccoon was struggling with apathy. I do think the raccoon was struggling with feelings of boredom. And when they meet the fire ant, their feelings for the fire ant are really stable, really grounding. And I almost feel like the fire ant serves to ground the raccoon into the present moment, into their present reality. And there's a lot of gratitude from the raccoon towards the fire ant. And there's always there's almost a little bit of fear, if I'm honest here, that I'm getting with the raccoon towards the fire ant, of like, I can't necessarily lose this person. I don't want, like, this is somebody who's going to do what they want to do. But the feelings here are very stable, very secure, very grounded, very deep. This is deep feelings. And what's interesting is that the fire ant towards the raccoon, we have the emperor. So there are very deep, stable, grounded feelings for both. There's a lot of feelings of stability, of security. And I think for both, but more so for the raccoon. I don't necessarily think the raccoon thought that having someone like the fire ant in their life was possible. And with the Eight of Pentacles being here, these are not feelings that are going anywhere. These are not feelings that are like up and down, hot and cold, white or black. It's like very stable, very secure. They're going to last the test of time. And then we have the Emperor and the Ten of Cups. And I feel like the fire ant towards the raccoon is going to be feeling, again, a lot of stability, a lot of security, a lot of just groundedness in the relationship, in the connection. With the Ten of Cups, there's a lot of love here. There's a lot of like romance as well. And I think this goes for both parties, but I think the fire ant is really, really looking at the raccoon with the eyes of just, this is my person, and this is somebody who I want to build a relationship with. And I have to say, for this group, there's a lot of like children coming into the picture, coming into the reading. So I do think this is a group where children already exist, and or you have children together. Maybe not necessarily in 2025, but that's definitely coming in here as a strong possibility. But there's a lot of patience, there's a lot of love, there's a lot of understanding. And I think the fire ant is going to really just see a future with the raccoon. I think that's true for both of you. But I think the fire ant is not somebody who has seen that type of future with someone. And they're going to kind of really hone in and see the future with this raccoon person. And again, for both of you, there's a lot of stability here. There's a lot of security. The raccoon has a little bit of anxiety around this. Like, they really don't want to lose it. And it's like, this is beautiful. The raccoon, before the fire ant came into their life, they were living a very dull existence. There was a lot of apathy there. There was a lot of boredom. And they don't want to go back to this, because you bring color into their life. You bring, like, they were living an existence where everything was gray, and you come in with the yellows and the pinks and the purples and all of the colors of the rainbows, and they love that. There's gratitude. There's a lot of gratitude from the raccoon towards the fire ant. Let's take a look at the love languages. So what is the love language for the fire ant? What is the love language for the fire ant? Six of Cups. I don't know why I turned that around. I wasn't going to do that till the end, but what is the love language for the raccoon? Page of Wands. So, bottom of the deck, I'll show you. Knight of Cups. For both of you, the love languages, a love language that you both share is physical touch. I'm also getting words of affirmation for the fire ant and physical touch and acts of service for the raccoon. I do think you both will understand each other quite well and quite easily. There's like a level of understanding here that is like you both just get one another. Let's take a look at, so I pulled these two cards just for more additional information about the connection. Door to personal healing and happiness. I love that. 7, there's something very healing, very spiritual about this. And then we have yin yang. Yep, 22. So we have 4 and 7, because 2 plus 2, we're doing numerology math, but 2 plus 2 is 4, and 3 plus 4, 7. There's going to be a lot of balance that this relationship, this connection brings to both of you. There is going to be a lot of understanding, a lot of love. And I think for this group, the romance is going to be it's almost like a very practical type of romance, but I think that both of you really understand and appreciate that. And this connection is going to help both of you reach a personal level of happiness that perhaps you have you've dreamt of, but maybe you haven't reached before. And it's not because the other person is giving you something or doing something that you couldn't do on your own, but it's because you're creating that together. Because you've done what you've needed to do on your own, and now you are creating that together. I love that. And both of you have quite balanced divine masculine and divine feminine energies. Let's take a look at the final messages here. Regret, somebody feels remorse for the way that they treated you. Healing, old wounds and childhood issues need revisiting. Twin flame, this is a divine counterpart connection. And interference, an external party is intruding on this relationship. So let's talk about it. I have to say, for most of you, I feel like this is somebody new in your life. If this is somebody that's previously been in your life, they're coming in completely different, but I would say this is new love for most of you. When it comes to regret, interference, and healing, I think both of you have had to do a lot of healing around different relationships and dynamics and your own way of showing up in a relationship. And this is what has created this pathway, this door to this relationship. And going into 2025 and throughout 2025, it's very important to continuously ground yourself, pile number 2, to really look at the way that you are approaching things. And this is true for anyone, but I think especially for my pile number 2s, like, am I reverting back to specific patterns? Am I being triggered? Am I acting from a place of fear? And I do think for most of you, this is a divine counterpart coming in. This is whether you want to call it a soulmate, a divine counterpart, a twin flame. I feel like this is what this connection is, and this is what's coming in. And as far as interference, that's what's being removed. And it's being removed because you've both done the work and you've both done the healing around relationships themselves. Like, I don't feel this interference is somebody interfering in this connection when it's happening. I feel like it's more of what you've done to get to this connection. For this group, I'm seeing black obsidian, black tourmaline, malachite. Those are crystals that you can work with. But pile number 2, I hope you enjoy this. Claim 222 in the comment section to claim this reading. If you did not enjoy it and this is not somebody that you want to connect to, just remember, you are the co-creator. You get to choose and you get to reject this energy. Either way, I am sending all of you so much love. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It helps me so much. Also hit the notification bell to know when I'll post next. Let me know what you'd like to see in the comment section below. And I am sending so much love, so many blessings. We will talk soon. Bye for now. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be your reading if you were drawn to the sticker with Tonks and Lupin from Harry Potter. We are going to place that right over here. As a reminder, it's a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. You know yourself best. If it does not fit, do not force it to fit. I also did a reading breakdown. I highly, highly suggest you check that out. That is going to let you know what to expect and what the breakdown of the reading is going to be and the style of the reading. So we are going to start by looking at your current energy. We are going to look at the energy of the person that is most likely to be in your life, or the most prominent person in your life for 2025. If you don't identify with this energy or this energy, pick a different pile, because this is not the reading, not the pile for you. And if you pick a different pile and that doesn't resonate, it just may be that this reading doesn't have a message for you, and that is okay. But let's get started. Let's see what we have here. Ooh, pile number 3, the Panther. Love that. Then we have the Octopus. Then we have, oh, pile number 3. Are you a water sign? We have the Mermaid there and the Octopus. Wow. And then we have Simplicity. Love that. And for this person's energy, we have the Nightingale. I don't think I've ever pulled this card from this deck. We have the Bat. Okay. Let's see what else we have. We have Torn. And finally, we have Home, and that is a turtle and a birdie. That is quite the combination. Okay, so pile number 3, let's talk about the energies. Before we get started, I just want to say, y'all are mirroring. Like, these two animals and these two animals, this deck has a lot of, like, you know, they have, like, darker energies, as far as, like, the actual picture itself being darker. And then it has, like, lighter energies, and then it has pops of color. You and your person getting dark cards, like, you know, the cards colored in with more of a dark, like, color. That's interesting. I love that. All right. So let's talk about my Panther person, and I want to talk about the signs that are here because I know that you guys absolutely love it when that happens. When that happens, it gives you confirmation. So for the Panther, we have fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. The Octopus, we have water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. The Mermaid representing water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. I'm also seeing a little bit of Earth with that Simplicity card being here. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You don't have to be any of those signs, even though we mentioned pretty much all of them except the air signs for this reading to resonate, but take it as confirmation if it does. So for my Panther person, your current energy is one of purging. And you also have the Octopus here. So my Panther person is going through a purge. My Panther person is going through a period of release, of letting go, of creating space, creating, being focused on what it is that you want to create and making space for that. And I also think that the Panther is really focused on being productive at this time, but I'm not necessarily getting this as being productive like in a career sense, though that could be a part of it. This feels like you are being productive when it comes to healing, when it comes to spirituality, when it comes to doing the inner work. My Panther person is simplifying their life, and they are doing so in order to create space for what it is that they do want in their life. And the Panther is really standing up for themselves at this time. This is someone who is saying, I am not putting up with anything that is not in my highest and greatest good. I am not holding space for anything that is not in my highest and greatest good. And I would not be surprised if the Panther person is currently going through a purge in all relationships, meaning not only romantic in the romantic sense, but also friendships, also family. Like if the people aren't showing up and doing what they need to do, I don't think the Panther is keeping them around. And the Panther is getting rid of anything that is not necessary. The Panther is getting rid of anything that is holding them back. And I feel like this has come as a result of realizing that there's a level of discomfort that the Panther has been living with. And I feel like what the Panther has realized is I am the co-creator of my life. And if I don't like something, I am the one that has to do something about it. No one else is going to solve my issues. No one else is going to make it better. Yes, other people can support me, but ultimately it is up to me to do what is right for me. And the goal for the Panther is to live a more fulfilling life. And again, for the Panther, this isn't just about relationships. This is about all areas of life. And relationships is going to be included because obviously that is a part of life. But this Panther person is on a journey to find their light. This Panther person is on a journey to find their truth. And this Panther person is getting quite comfortable when it comes to their feelings, when it comes to their emotions, and when it comes to sitting with where they are currently at. And I think that the Panther is currently sitting in a little bit of discomfort. And one thing that has led the Panther here is what the Panther yearns for. And I think what the Panther yearns for is to truly be seen, heard, accepted for who they are. And through that, there is a yearning for a long-term relationship. There is a yearning for a soulmate, a divine counterpart, a twin flame, whatever label you want to give it. But it goes beyond that for the Panther, because I think that the Panther is truly looking for a sense of belonging, for a sense of, let me be the best version of myself, and let me find the people that are going to hold space for me, even while I am getting to that point, even while I am on my journey to being the best version of myself. Because the truth is, we're constantly evolving, we're constantly growing. And part of what the Panther has dealt with in the past has been a lack of boundary and letting people get away with certain things that the Panther was not comfortable with, that the Panther knew was not what they deserved. And the Panther is very intelligent. The Panther is a very fair person. This is someone who they do the right thing. This is someone who has a lot of ethics, a lot of morals, a lot of integrity. But unfortunately, they haven't always run into people. And again, not only in loving relationships, but in other areas of life as well, that have held space for them and treated them in the same way that that the Panther treats other people. And one thing that the Panther is currently learning is to have the courage to stand up for themselves and to speak up and to reject anything that is not in alignment with their highest and greatest good. And the Panther is currently finding their path and finding the direction of their life. And I think that the Panther's life is taking a bit of a turn. And again, simplicity. That's the Panther's keyword at this time. It's, I am going to simplify. I am going to get down to the basics, and whoever is with me on this journey, they're going to be with me, and whoever doesn't like it, they can go away, and that's okay. And even though that would be painful, because I do think that the Panther cares quite deeply for everyone that is currently in their life, they are also willing to make the sacrifices that need to be made. And another thing that the Panther is currently learning is how to be patient and how to adapt to change. And I think that the Panther is becoming more and more comfortable with change as every single day goes by. And the Panther is also becoming very, very comfortable and becoming more flexible when it comes to the emotions. And I want to be clear. The Panther is somebody that feels things very deeply, but I also think that at times that could have been a little bit uncomfortable, especially when it came to the unknown and not knowing what the outcome was, or not knowing how they would be received. So there's a lot more comfort, there's a lot more leaning in and embracing their own energy. Now I want to talk about this Nightingale person. And the Nightingale and the Bat, their energy, both of these cards are air signs. So we have Gemini, Libra, Aquarius being represented. I'm also seeing Earth being represented here, with the Torn and the Home card. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Again, none of those have to be the right signs for this to resonate, but this is just offering additional confirmation to those that want it. The Nightingale person is someone who is very fierce. This is someone who is not afraid to speak their mind. If we look at the card, look at how that nightingale is just singing. We see this image is mid just song bursting out of this beautiful bird. And the nightingale is very fearless. This is someone who is not afraid to use their voice. This is not someone who is afraid to speak their truth. And one thing about this person is that they stand out. And I think my Panther person may be a bit more introverted, while my Nightingale person is a bit more extroverted. At the very least, the Nightingale is not afraid to speak up and be heard when they feel they have to. I will say the Nightingale has a way with words. There's something very beautiful about the way they speak, write, and or express themselves. There's something about the way they communicate. This could also be someone that does something that involves communication for a living, such as like maybe marketing. They could be a writer. They could be a teacher that's coming in for some reason. But this is someone, they could work in speech therapy as well. That's coming through. But this is someone who knows how to express themselves, how to use words very wisely. And this is someone who is very wise and someone who is very connected to their heart and soul. And I think the Nightingale has some very, they're very passionate about certain things. Like for some of them, there is a cause that this person is very passionate about that they invest their time and energy into. For some of you, this Nightingale person could be somebody who has a very beautiful singing voice, but this is someone who is very good when it comes to expressing themselves and expressing the truth. Very smart, very wise. There's something about the way that they communicate. They're very eloquent as well. And we also have the bat animal representing this Nightingale person. And this represents this person's current transformation. And they are going through a transformation. They have gone through a period of a dark night of the soul. And they are letting go of certain things that no longer worked. And they've had to release things that no longer worked. And they've had to be adaptable to what no longer works. And I think that that is where the Panther and the Nightingale really have a lot in common, especially in their current energies and while they connect. It's because they've undergone these periods of complete transformation. And I think for both of them, they've kind of ended up in these periods of transformation because they've had to. And they're both very adaptable. I will say that about the Panther and the Nightingale. But with the Nightingale, there is a level of hurt that they're still working through. And I think that that is where a lot of this wisdom comes through for the Nightingale. They've had to accept a lot and deal with a lot. And I think that they've experienced a level of loss. And this could be physical loss. Like for some, I think they could have lost somebody who was very near and dear to their heart, and that caused a lot of pain, a lot of just heartbreak. But again, this is somebody who is adaptable. This is somebody who is making the best out of what they have been given. And what the Nightingale is currently focused on and what they will be focused on when you connect, and I think for most of you, this is probably going to be someone new. We'll see how the other cards go, but for now, it feels like this is going to be somebody new. Is that they are going to be finding themselves and finding their sense of self and where they belong. And I think in different ways, what both of your energies are focused on is where do I belong and how am I going to get there? And for the bat person, they're ending a chapter. They're closing I'm actually hearing they're closing the whole book on something. and opening a brand new one. And there is a lot of forward movement for both people, but especially for the Nightingale. Now, let's talk about an important lesson that you, my viewer, pile number 3, are taking into 2025. Let's see what that is. We have the Page of Pentacles, Two of Swords, Knight of Wands, and finally Queen of Swords. Okay, so for my pile number 3, you are going into 2025 with lessons around being more decisive. You are also learning how to be more patient and how to let life unfold as it needs to. I feel for my pile number 3s, for you, my viewer, there's almost like a lesson here in releasing control and releasing the need to know and releasing the need to control. And part of what's going on for 2025, part of what you're taking into 2025 is more trust in self, more trust in the universe, but also more knowledge about what it is that you want to experience and do moving forward, and how it is that you want to approach love and dating in general. And I think that you are also going into 2025 with a deeper understanding of yourself and what's required for you to thrive in a partnership and the type of person that you are wanting to connect with. And for my pile number 3s, there's a lot of freedom that you have gifted yourself, that you have given yourself throughout 2024 and into 2025. And I also think that for my pile number 3s, if there were any fears around commitment, any fears around relationships, any fears around opening up and being vulnerable, those have been dealt with moving into 2025. And there's almost like this level of trust that you have gained, that you understand that you will no longer allow certain energies in, so you don't have to be afraid. There's a lot of wisdom that you're taking in, but there's also a level of enthusiasm that you're coming in with, a level of being willing to open up and going on an adventure and dating, right? Or getting to know someone. Or for those of you that maybe already know the Nightingale, though I do feel most of you don't, being ready to connect and to approach this with an open mind. So for this reading, if you saw the breakdown, you know this already, but I will be doing a lot of shuffling on camera. And for this specific group, your deck is going to be the Lightseers Tarot deck. So we're going to start by looking at what is possible in love for you, pile number 3, in 2025. I'm going to try to shuffle these without moving the whole thing. But what is possible in love in 2025 for my pile number 3s. All right, let's take a look here. Bottom of the deck, we have Justice. King of Pentacles. Wow, I love it. King of Cups. Okay. And I love these two energies because we have the Justice. I want to show you that we have the Two of Cups. There's a soulmate coming in, and I think this Nightingale for many of you is your soulmate. We have Justice at the bottom of the deck there. And I've said this before, but it's going to be what you make of it. And I know that that sounds like, okay, duh. But for this group, it's really what you make of the year and what you want to turn it into, because you're going to have the ability to manifest what it is that you desire. And I think for my pile number 3 is what's possible in love, with the King of Pentacles and the King of Cups being here for you, like both of these cards being here as what's possible in love. It's a stable, open, and when I say open, I don't mean the modern way of opening a relationship, though if that is what you want, that is what you want. But when I say open, I mean open communication, trusting, loving relationship. And for my pile number 3s, what's possible here is a relationship where you build together, where you grow together. This could very well be you meeting your future spouse, or you continuing on the road of growing with your future spouse and eventually settling down with this person. There is a lot of stability. There is a lot of comfort. And there is a lot of security in love available to you in 2025. So for those of you that are looking for a relationship, a long-lasting relationship, 2025 is quite possibly the year where you are able to create that. And I say quite possibly because it's up to you, right? It's up to you if you truly open yourself to it. It's up to you if you put yourself out there. It's up to you once you meet this person for both of you to make this work. But 2025 has a lot of opportunities to bring together something that is long-lasting, something that is stable, something that is emotionally fulfilling, and somebody that you can build an actual foundation with, whether that is, getting married, getting engaged, starting a family, buying a house together. For some of you, maybe even opening a business with your partner. There's a lot of possibility here for growth, for stability, and for strong foundations being set and starting. And for some of you, continuing, but I think for most of you, starting. And there's a lot of love here as well. There's a lot of like security, but don't mistake it. There is love at the core of this and at the center of this. All right, we're going to look at the relationship dynamics between the Panther and the Nightingale. I'm going to have to find a different way to shuffle these because I'm trying not to blow these cards away. Let's do it differently. I'm going to do it this way. A lot easier. All right, so what is the relationship dynamic between the Panther and the Nightingale? Relationship dynamics between the Panther and the Nightingale. That one wants to come through. All right, what do we have? The Empress. Knight of Wands, Six of Pentacles. I love that Six of Pentacles being here, and the Eight of Swords. So for my pile number 3s, the dynamics between the Panther and the Nightingale, there's a lot of understanding here. There's a lot of balance. These are two people that are willing to show up and do the work, that are willing to show up and, again, do that work, right? Like, I'm showing up, I am giving my best, and this person is showing up and giving their best. There is a lot of fun here. There is a lot of adventure. I feel like for the Panther and the Nightingale, there is a possibility here for a lot of actual travel. Like, you can travel the world with this person. You can go on trips with this person. You can go explore with this person, even if it's like, locally, let's go try that new restaurant. Let's go try that new class. Let's go try that new gym. There's a lot of adventure here for both of you. And there's a lot of stability here. And I think with this Eight of Swords being here, as far as the dynamics, I think communication is going to be very important for this group, for this relationship, for this connection. And I think that part of this being the dynamic is that you are both going to feel appreciated and understood by the other person. And if I'm honest, I think the Panther has struggled with this more than the Nightingale, But I think the Nightingale has encountered people that are not always clear, that are not always forthcoming with how they are feeling and what they are thinking and what they are experiencing. And one thing that is extremely important for the Nightingale is honesty. One thing that is extremely important for the Nightingale is transparency. So it really is going to work out because the Panther is craving honesty. The Panther is craving clear communication. And one thing that the Panther is also craving is someone who is able to put into action what they talk, right? Like somebody who can walk the talk, because I think that especially for the Panther has dealt with people who have said things, promised things, but they haven't always come through. And with the Nightingale, I think that they're used to just not knowing and having to guess at what the other person is thinking, what the other person is going through. So for both of these people, there is a very freeing energy when they come together of I don't have to second guess myself. I don't have to figure out what the other person means. And again, there's a lot of balance. This is a relationship where it's not always possible for both people to show up and be at 100%. But I think for the Panther and the Nightingale, both of these people are constantly and continuously showing up and being the best version of themselves and trying to bring their 100% into the connection, into the relationship. And that's something that, again, I don't think the Panther is necessarily used to, but I do think the Panther will appreciate about the Nightingale. And I think that the Nightingale is going to appreciate to have someone who is willing to do the same for them. As far as the dynamics here, I do see a lot of fun for this group. Like you will have fun together. I know I said the travel thing. For some reason, I feel like this is a group where like cruises, vacations are going to be a big part of the relationship and a big part of how you connect, because I think both of you are a little bit of explorers, if you will. I also think that there's an energy of like you both feel provided for in different ways, because it's not going to be the same exact way. Like I think the Panther is going to feel provided for. Like this, I feel the Nightingale is going to show up and really take care of things financially, mentally, emotionally. And I think for the Nightingale, the Panther is going to show up and really hold space for them and see them and take care of them in the best way that the Panther knows how to. And it's the same thing for the Nightingale. It's like in the best way possible, both of these people are showing up for one another and providing the other with the best version of themselves. Let's take a look at what's going to bring you together. What's going to bring these two together? So far, I really like this energy, pile number 3. For my pile number 3s, what is going to bring the Panther and the Nightingale together? And this is just what's going to connect you, what's going to bring you together. We'll see what wants to be shared. Bottom of the deck, let's see what we have. We have the Two of Pentacles. For some of you, you could meet this person through work. Take that as it resonates. That's not going to be the case for everyone, but that's coming through. 3 of Swords. Queen of Swords. There's a lot of air in the relationship, in the connection itself. So again, communication, feeling understood, feeling seen is going to be very important for both of you. And the 9 of Wands. Okay, so what brings you together? For some of you, you will meet this person through work. You will meet this person through like school, maybe, for those of you that are in school. But what really helps you connect is what I've been talking about this, right? These are two people that have been through it. These are two people that have experienced relationships that aren't necessarily the best relationship they've ever had, right? These people have experienced relationships where there was something lacking, the other person wasn't showing up. And I think both of these people, and it takes two to tango, but I think both of these people have been in relationships where they were not necessarily appreciated, where they were not necessarily understood by their partner. And I think for some, there was even an intentional misunderstanding of the partner in previous relationships. Like the other person was purposely playing games, the other person was purposely not understanding. So what brings these two together is, first of all, both of you are very intelligent. You could be intellectuals. Both of you are very good at communicating, and both of you understand the importance of communicating and the importance of somebody like showing up and doing the work. And what brings you together, and as I said, some of you will meet through work, but what brings you together, like once you've met, what connects you, what really seals this relationship together is a deep understanding of what the other person has been through, because both of you have been through similar things. And I want to emphasize, I don't necessarily think this is just in love relationships, like this isn't in the romantic sense only. I think there are things that you both connect with that have to do with other areas in your life. I would not be surprised if this is somebody that does something similar to you in work, or somebody that has lived similar experiences throughout their life, so that you can really connect to them, get to, like, you really understand them at a deep level. And you both have had your fair share of hardships, but you're both also pretty optimistic. And I don't know that you've always been optimistic that things are going to get better, but when you connect to this person, you're both in a place of it, and it's not even optimism as much as it's, I am going to create what I want. I am going to put forth the effort. I am going to see it through. So you connect at a deep level of understanding. You connect because you truly get the other person, and you connect because of similar life experiences. Now, obviously, there is attraction here, there is passion here, there is chemistry here, but it's also much deeper than that. Now, I want to look at any obstacles or what could potentially pull you apart. And when I say this, my goal is to give you something to be aware of in case any issues pop up in the connection. So we are going to take a look at, for my pile number 3s, what could potentially pull them apart, or what are the obstacles that they may face in 2025. And we're keeping this very specific to 2025. King of Swords. Yeah, communication is going to be a big one. Be very careful to really say what you feel and take action on what you say. Like, see it through. The Emperor. And then we have the Queen of Cups as to what could potentially pull you apart. So, first things first, we did see that King of Swords at the bottom of the deck there. So I do want to emphasize the importance of communicating, of being clear, of, just really expressing yourselves. But also with the King of Swords, because I do think we have two intellectuals here. And I do think we have two people here that can kind of enjoy being right and can kind of be rigid about their thinking at times. Just sometimes it's okay to agree to disagree. And it's okay to realize that the other person is not going to have your exact point of view. And I do think, I will say, for the Panther and the Nightingale, I do think you could be a couple that enjoys debating. And I do think you're a couple that can be a bit competitive. So keeping that in mind, being very mindful of that, coming through as important. And then we also have the Emperor. So with the Emperor being here, again, this could speak to a little bit of being a little bit rigid, inflexible. So keep that in mind. And keep in mind defensiveness as well, right? Not being too overly defensive, being open, hearing the other person out, not necessarily feeling like you both have to control everything. And also be careful with being stubborn, right? Because we do have the Queen of Cups here. It's about being understanding, being soft, being loving, allowing love to lead the way, very important. And with the Queen of Cups showing up for this portion of the reading, as far as like, what can pull you apart, I actually think that and the Queen of Cups in when it comes to obstacles can very well be about controlling or trying to suppress emotions and trying to control from a place of fear and feeling insecure. And it's also about needing to listen, needing to, giving the other person the opportunity to explain themselves. So keeping that in mind as well. But I also think that the Queen of Cups is here as a reminder to practice love and compassion, to show up in a loving way, to speak out of a place of love, to speak out of a place of empathy, and to lead with your heart and to hold space for one another. But I want to emphasize, I don't think none of this is like in a terrible way. It honestly just feels like you can get caught up in like friendly competition and in the need to be right, and just kind of a reminder to be more flexible and that you're both very similar. I have to say this. For my pile number threes, you both have a lot of similarities. Like, there are differences, of course, but there's a lot of similarities as well. So learning, you're really going to have your stuff mirrored back to you. So learning to hold space and learning to work through it is going to be very important for this group. But let's move on to pile number three. We are going to be looking at the feelings here. So the Nightingale's feelings for the Panther and the Panther's feelings for the Nightingale. And if you don't know who this is, and I think most of you don't, it's the current feelings in the connection while you are in the connection with one another. If you know who they are now, it may come up that way. But again, I don't feel most of you know this. Nightingale's feelings for the Panther. And Panther's feelings for the Nightingale. I think there's so much passion in here. Like, there's a lot of passion in this connection. Bottom of the deck, Page of Cups. Yeah, there's romance here. There's the butterflies. There's all that good stuff that you share together. But let's take a look at Nightingale's feelings for the Panther. We have Temperance. And we have the Nine of Pentacles. And then the Panther's feelings for the Nightingale. We have, the Devil. Talk about passion. And the Two of Cups. Love that. Okay. So when it comes to feelings, the Nightingale, there's a lot of like, first of all, for both, we have the Page of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So for both, the romance is there, the chemistry is there, the passion is there, the I want you is there, all of that is there. But we are looking even deeper than that, so keep that in mind. The Nightingale for the Panther, there's a lot of stability in their feelings. This isn't feelings that are going to just switch up. This isn't feelings that are going to, they're not like hot and cold. They're not very, they're not wand energy, because wand energy can be very like, I'm very passionate. I'm here for now, but it's fire. It burns through. And a week from now, I may not be feeling that. This is Pentacles. So this is long lasting. This is also Temperance, right? And the Nightingale really does feel very passionate about the Panther. The Nightingale also feels like the Panther is, it's like you complete me energy. It's like you are the yin to the yang, they're the yang to your yin, all of that good stuff. And the nightingale really does love the panther, but the nightingale feels safe with the panther. The nightingale feels like this is something that is completely new and different. And I would not be surprised if the nightingale at some point says to the panther, I've never felt this way about someone else. Because yes, I can feel the passion. Yes, I can feel the attraction. Yes, I feel the chemistry. Yes, I got the butterflies. Yes, I got the love. But I also feel safe. I also feel like you've got my back. I also feel like you are my person and like we are going to move through life together. And the nightingale feels that the panther is in their life for a purpose. Like, this is someone who would look at the panther and say, we met for a reason. Even if the nightingale isn't super like spiritual and they're not like, yeah, you know, we were destined to meet, that's something that may cross their minds of like, yeah, I think we were destined. Like, I think you came into my life to make it better. I think you came into my life for a purpose. I think we were destined. I think we were meant to be. So there's a lot of just very beautiful feelings, and they're very stable. They're very grounded. They are not going anywhere. It's like the nightingale is very settled into, you're my person. And I would not be surprised if these two go on to get married or to like be lifelong partners. If the nightingale says to the panther, like very early on, I knew what you meant to me, because there's a certain sense of peace that the panther brings to the nightingale that I would say the nightingale would describe the panther as like, you are my peace. You are the grounding force in my life. Now, when it comes to the panther and their feelings for the nightingale, we have the devil here. So there's a lot of passion. There is a lot of sensual energy, let's put it that way. The panther is extremely attracted to the nightingale. And before somebody says it, I am in no way saying that's not true for the nightingale. I'm saying that the nightingale has all of this and then has so much more that they have yet to experience in life. So the panther feels a lot of love, and it's very interesting because they both feel that they were meant to be. They both feel very destined. They both feel like this was meant to come together. This is my person. This is my divine counterpart. This is my twin flame. This is my soulmate, whatever label you both choose to give it, or just like, this person was meant to come into my life. This is a blessing. There is a lot of gratitude for one another for both of these people, and there is a lot of appreciation for one another where it's rooted in love, in stability. But I will say, I think for the panther, the reason these two cards are coming up is because I think for the panther, this is the first time, or at least to this level, where the panther feels so comfortable with their own sensuality. It's YouTube, that's what we're gonna call it. And with expressing it. And I think that in the bedroom, we're gonna keep this rated G as much as possible. In the bedroom, these two are more than satisfied, and these two are very in tune, and they get along quite well, if you know what I mean. But there's something about this for the panther that I think is going to be like on another level. And it's interesting because for the nightingale, it's like the level of emotion, the level of depth is another level. And I think for the panther, that's also there, but it's the physicality of it is also at another level. Let's see what the love languages are, though I think I already know with these two energies, but let's see what the love languages are. So we're going to look at the love language of the panther, and then we are going to look at the love language for the nightingale. So love language for my panther person. And love language for my Nightingale person. And we'll look underneath the deck. I do that a lot. Okay. Ace of Swords. I'm not surprised. There's so much swords here. 9 of Swords at the bottom. And then what do we have for the Panther? 8 of Pentacles. So, for my Panther, for both of these people, physical touch is going to be very important in the relationship. For my Panther person, acts of service is going to be very important. Like, you see me, you know what I need, and you show up and do it. I also think gifts, but not just like extravagant gifts, but like, hey, I saw you and I thought of you and I got you this, and it's something that's very meaningful. Those are the love languages for my Panther person. For my Nightingale, it's going to be words of affirmation, followed very closely. And again, for both of these people, it's going to be physical touch. But words of affirmations followed by acts of service. So those are the love languages I'm getting for both of these people. Okay, so we are going to look at more information on the relationship. So I pulled these 2 cards just to give us more information on the connection. And we're going to close it out with just some advice, anything that you need to know. So let's see what we have here. We have appreciation. I love that. And that is 1 + 5 is 6. Numerology 6 is all about love, connection, harmony, balance. Love that. And then we have 35, which 3 + 5 is 8. And we have the first chakra with Archangel Michael. Love that. So both of you, well, I'm talking to my viewer, right? So for my viewer, you can absolutely connect with Archangel Michael just to help you bring this to life and manifest this. But with the appreciation, there is so much love and appreciation here that you are both going to have for one another. And this is a connection where you're going to appreciate one another and you are going to show your appreciation for one another. And that is going to be beautiful for both of you to experience, because again, I don't necessarily think that that's something that you've both been able to experience a whole lot, not only in love, but in all relationships. And with the first chakra being here with the root chakra, this is you both grounding this relationship into reality and making the best out of the connection that you have and really setting foundations with one another. Let's take a look at what we have. These are meant to just be information. This could be advice for you. This could be information about the relationship. Let's see what we get. So we have abundance. You've done the work. Abundance flows to you now. Yeah. You've earned this. You both have. Support. Lean on your inner circle during this time. And your support system, like the Panther and the Nightingale, your support system for one another is going to be unmatched. But also, pile number 3, if you're watching this and you don't know this person yet, you could meet them through work, but don't be afraid to, like, first of all, if you're struggling, if you're going through it and you have somebody that you trust, that you love, that is a very healthy relationship for you, a friend, a family member, whatever it is, lean on them. But also, don't be afraid to say, hey, I'm looking, and if somebody wants to introduce you to someone, why not? Different pages, you and this person don't share the same vision. And then we have leap of faith. It is safe for you to make the move that you're considering. So this different pages, and I'm going to clarify it for you guys. To me, this different pages isn't about the relationship. This is about the type of relationship that you are moving away from. And this leap of faith is you taking a leap of faith and connecting with someone again. Because I do think for both the Panther and the Nightingale, there's a lot of pain here from the past that you're both going to have to move forward from. And it's going to take a leap of faith. It's going to take you saying, you know what? I want to try something different. You know what? I want to give this a shot. And I'm going to clarify this. We're going to bring in Love Oracle cards, and we're just going to pull an additional card here. Just an additional card to get more information. And we can pull a tarot card if need be, but let's try this. Yeah, free yourself. Yeah, you are freeing yourself. You don't need to be in control of everything for a love relationship to be successful. You are freeing yourself from those people that were not on the same page with you. You are freeing yourself from anything that is not in alignment with you, and you are moving forward from the pattern of being around people that weren't ready. Reaching your goal, and you will be reaching your goal in 2025. Everything you want from this connection will manifest in the near future. Ooh. Sorry. I knew I was going to do that, but look at this. New love. Yeah, for many of you, this is a completely new person. But pile number 3, that is what I have for you. If you want to claim this, type in the comment section 333. If you listen to this and this isn't what you want, just know that you are the co-creator of your life. You get to choose. No worries. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you'd like to see next. It really helps me out with the algorithm. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I am sending so much love, so many blessings, and we will talk soon. Bye for now.